Controversial, must-see, eye-opening, The Black Table.
See you at the show on The Black Table.
Welcome back. Wolfpack members, all you Team Black folks. You're in the right place. Get ready for another episode of The Black Table. Share this with a friend. You've got 60 seconds. Share this show. Don't keep it all to yourself. That's called being selfish. You wouldn't do that now, would you? Of course you wouldn't. And with that, let's start the show.
Let's go, people. Controversial, must-see, eye-opening, The Black Table.
Boom, there it is. There it is, we're in the house. What up, people, how you doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to another edition of The Black Table. I'm your host. Once again, we are back. And of course, once again, we have the indispensable, irresistible Mrs. Black in the house. Mrs. Black, how you doing, Mrs. Black?
I'm doing well. Hello, everybody. Welcome to tonight's Black Table. Got some great stories for you.
We do. This is episode 5. Cinco. We get close to Cinco de Mayo, too, so that works. Yes, people. Yes. You're in the house. Welcome. Facebook, YouTube. Thanks for being here, guys. You heard the recordings. Share this out on your social media. Let people know that you are at the show. I want to make sure that people can hear us. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello. Man, I am geared up for tonight, man. It's how it always is. You know, you're getting prepped and stuff, but it starts running and it's like autopilot, y'all. So let's go. There it is. My mic's hot, Mrs. Black. Is your mic hot?
Hello. Can you hear me? Mic check. 1 2 1 2.
Let's go. There it is. My mic's hot, Mrs. Black. Is your mic hot? There it is. That's all I need to hear, man. That's all I need to hear. That's all I need to know. I need to know that. That's it. As long as I know that, I'm good to go. Okay. Mrs. Black, if you don't mind, could you run down? We got some topics, our top 5. The top 5, yes.
All right. Okay, the first one we got on here is Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon fired. Roy Wood Jr. of The Daily Show White House Correspondents' Dinner. Harry Belafonte's death, a rebuttal to selective memory. Texas shooter at large. And Kevin Hart and Meek Mill's donation.
Yes, so we got a nice little list of things to cover. Get out of here. They're trying to help. YouTube trying to help too much with the little app. I got a couple other things I'm gonna mention throughout the show, but they're not going to be big enough to really be considered segments. So let's go ahead and start it off with Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon, man. Everyone knows what happened. I think they got canned the day after the show last week. So we came Sunday, they got canned Monday morning. It was Bloody Monday in the newsroom. So we didn't get a chance to really discuss it on this show, though I put out a couple of clips about it, as we know. Don Lemon. We all know he got canned. Here's the thing, guys. It didn't really go down the way people think it went down. According to my research and things I've heard said, they wanted to talk to Don, and Don didn't want to talk. Instead, he wants to play victim. And that's something, and I'm not saying he should have got fired, but what I'm saying is things were done strategically. No one just gets fired and didn't see it coming. It's like, there's bad vibes, there's bad tension. Don Lemon's been moved a couple of times. He's had run-ins with co-hosts, and it was all swirling around. He had a lawsuit. Anybody know about the lawsuit he just had that he settled, I think it was back in May? Sexual assault lawsuit. So he has his own little thing. I know people like D.L. Hughley and others online want to act like, oh my God, Don Lemon is, oh my God, I can't believe they did this to Don Lemon. All right, no, it's not out the blue. If you got a job, it's the same way with you. You got a job, you don't come in one day and just be fired for no reason, and then you don't want to sit down with the employer. So that's the thing. But my other thing about it, because I understand that's subjective. How I feel about Don Lemon, even though it's based in facts, I remember him shitting on Ferguson, shitting on protest. I remember Don Lemon being the guy that tried to get Bill de Blasio to keep Stop and Frisk in place. He went on a campaign tour online on radio in New York to try to keep Stop and Frisk in place. Suddenly, no one remembers these things about Don Lemon. Don Lemon throwing black people under the bus, saying we're the most homophobic group in America, even though he's black and he's gay and we watch him. So I don't know where that's coming from. He said black people were more racist against black gay people than white people, which I don't even understand because we never enslaved black, we didn't put. So he leaves out the KKK, Nazi, skinheads, all this shit, white supremacists, and just goes. So it's just like Don had a running thing where Don, in my opinion, was just, wow, the babies are like really turned up. They're loud up that joint. Don Lemon had a thing that I did, goodness gracious, hey! Don Lemon has a thing where he just does, he's part of the machine. And what I don't like is I feel that Don Lemon was very strategic in starting to embrace blackness to a certain extent when he saw the writing on the wall. See, people need an exit plan. He had an exit plan, I believe, that when he saw things going bad, what he needs to do is ingratiate himself to the group of people that he shitted on, which is us. Because if white people wanted him, they would have kept him. Once Don Lemon pissed off white women, he was toast. So then he starts saying things like reparations, like out of desperation. And of course people fall for it. I'm not falling for it, that's how I see it. Don Lemon's full of it. I like to know what we lost in Don Lemon. Except for certain people that go on his show who are friends of his, what did we really lose as a community, as a people, as a country? What did we really lose? And this goes for Tucker Carlson too, and I'm going to get to him. Folks, anyone in cable news is part of the machine. That's why it's called cable news. They're attached to it. That's just how it is. Yeah, I know you want to idolize people that are on cable news, but they're doing a job. They're giving talking points, and they're operating between guardrails that don't necessarily help the average working family to family or the average American, okay? They do the bidding of the corporations that hire them, that put them in place, that give them millions of dollars. So cut the cap. Stop the tripping. You lost your job tomorrow when nobody cry you a river. I'm just upset seeing people act like they lost their cousin. He's not your cousin. He would not kick it with you. He would not have a beer with you. He'd be like, what are these peasants doing around me? He's been very rich for almost 20 years, making millions of dollars a year. He's fine. It's your broke ass I'm worried about. Yours and mine. Anything else on Don Lemon before I go to Tucker Carlson, Mrs. Black?
No, head on over to Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson, he is not my friend. I know you want him to be my friend because you want him to be your friend because you want to overlook all the dog whistles. And fuck it, at this point, Tucker Carlson no longer had a dog whistle. He had a bullhorn. And he was hitting all the white supremacist talking points. The replacement theory, crime in Chicago, culture problem with the blacks. I mean, he hit everything that he could possibly say about black people as a negative. And I still got these people. And yes, there are a lot of progressives that are in this line. I'm sorry if you're one of those progressives to feel that progressives do no wrong. There are a lot of people that call themselves progressive who love Tucker Carlson. Because at one time, he said, Julian Assange should be free. Then they overlooked all the bad, negative, horrific, racist, bigoted, slanted, false narratives he put out about black people every fucking week. But here's something I know about Tucker Carlson, that all of you people that tell me how I should love him because Matt Taibbi and Aaron Mate and Jimmy Dore got to go on his show, every single one of these white supremacists, black-hating assholes that shoot up whatever that killed black people, guess what news show they watched? They weren't watching Don Lemon. So if you got more fire for Don Lemon and you got nothing to say about Tucker Carlson, you ain't my friend, you're not my ally, you are an impediment to progress. Tucker Carlson's hands are dirty. I don't care what he gets to say. He did put out this statement, a cryptic little tweet thing where he didn't mention exactly what happened. He says, well, look. He said he offered some sweeping complaints about the state of American discourse. See, now he's above it all. Tucker Carlson's another one, made millions and millions of dollars, and all of a sudden, now he's above it all. He's the person that's going to lead us into the light. You guys buy this? All of a sudden now he's Mr. Moral Authority. He said what he noticed when you step away from the noise for a few days is how nice some people are. See, this is what you do. You run far right, and then you move back to the center when you got to deal with regular people again. I said you run to the right. That's where you get your money. Give me money, give me money, give me all the money. Then you run back to the center and pretend all that shit you said earlier don't apply. You white guy it. Hi. Hi. That's how y'all do us in the morning. What's up, man? Hi. That fake, they don't want to look at you, they don't want to talk to you. Why is this black person talking to me? Hi. That's Tucker. The other thing you notice when you take a little time off is how unbelievably stupid most of the debates you see on television are. Yeah, you used to be a part of those debates. I remember Jon Stewart eating your lunch during one. They're completely irrelevant. They mean nothing in 5 years. We won't even remember we heard them. No, I remember. I still remember Jon Stewart removing your body parts with a dull knife. I still remember the vasectomy he gave you live on TV. You can't have no kids. You can't have no kids. So nah, see it's all jokes. They're all again, they're playing. This is a role he's playing, and people buy it. You frustrate me. You frustrate me with this. Tucker Carlson's not my friend. I don't care how many times you try to tell me he is. You know another thing? When I tell you somebody's not a friend of black people, and you ain't black, shut up and believe what I said. Stop trying to make me have to convince you that this guy is a racist. Stop making me convince you about how I feel about him. You can feel how you want to feel. There are people that hate Dave Chappelle. I love Dave Chappelle. You ain't gonna change my opinion. I also love Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Patrice O'Neal. You ain't gonna white-splain, mansplain, Democrat-splain, or liberal-splain, or progressive-splain, whatever, explain it to me why I shouldn't like something. Okay, I get it. You like what you like. But this is my platform, and I'm gonna tell you, Tucker Carlson has never been good for black people. And the only black people that think so are dumb. All right. And also, Tucker Carlson used to be on MSNBC and CNN. So anybody on a high horse about how horrible Tucker is, who can't give Don Lemon the business, shut up. They used to work at the same place. I'm one of those people that believe if you work at a place for a decade or whatever, you shouldn't be able to go, then leave and get religion and say, hey, that place really sucked. You took their paychecks for 10 years and you never flinched. Sounds like someone you know, but I won't mention their name. But the same thing goes for Tucker Carlson. Tucker was a CNN, MSNBC kid who got his lunch ate. That's why he went to Fox. And that's got nothing to do with him being fired. I really don't care why they got fired. People get fired every day. I don't see them crying about either anybody else getting fired. Mrs. Black, I'm done. You got anything?
That was a nice role. That was excellent.
Hey, it is. I appreciate you. Clap it up for
Oh, gosh. I never really watched Tucker. I've seen him, here and there talking about being replaced. And, he could have been out there with the tiki torches talking about we're not being replaced. He could have been in that little group out there in Charlottesville a few years back. I don't know. Maybe they'll team up. He and Don Lemon have like a Pucker Lemon podcast or something.
Yeah, they
Just
might
surprise everybody.
Yeah, Chris Cuomo trying to act above it. That's another phony trying to act all above it. Well, yeah, I was told people want to know about. I could just listen to this snide, egotistical nonsense. And, well, why do you want to know what I say to Don? Don's like my brother. Yeah, it was the same brother you was running that with razor blades and grape juice, lemon juice, when you got canned. He's the same guy who did not throw you a life preserver when you got canned. So I don't know, these fake friendships, these situationships. Chris Cuomo. Stick the noose, Max. So next.
All right, next up is Roy Wood Jr. of The Daily Show, his White House Correspondents' dinner.
Slow clap for Roy Wood Jr.
I was
Slow
fine.
clap.
I saw snippets.
I got up this morning prepping for the show, and I was like, let me check out this. I want to check. So I ended up watching his entire portion of the Correspondents' Dinner. Let me just tell you, folks, Roy Wood Jr. is a treasure. You understand what I'm saying? Roy Wood Jr. gave the best roast that I've ever seen at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. It's particular. It's no. That's not saying a whole lot because it's always so much ass kissing going on at this thing. But Roy Wood did the best job of threading the needle of being able to go after both sides. He went after Doc Brandon about the classified documents. It was good. He went at Trump only like once or twice. He did not park his car in Trump's garage the entire thing. See, that's what Trevor Noah did, who I think is vastly overrated, but that's just my opinion. But they couldn't get that show to a foundational black person, a regular black guy. They got to give it to somebody from South Africa black. So they had to give it to Trevor Noah, you know what I'm saying? Who knows? Maybe they'll give it to Roy Wood now. Roy Wood killed it. He destroyed. He even had the guts to talk about Don Lemon in front of Don Lemon's colleagues. I say, wow, Roy Wood is that guy. He is that guy. So I tweeted that out and I let people know. I said, this is very impressive. A person that's willing to stick it to Tucker Carlson. Of course he's sticking to Tucker Carlson. See, it's not that I don't want him to stick it to Tucker Carlson and Trump. Sure, have your say. Just don't stay there all night. There is other material. If you can't find material in Joe Biden falling off a bike, he just gives it to you. Stammering into nowhere. The guy that forgot where he parked his car at the mall and then caught the bus home. If you don't go after that guy, how you fall upstairs? Like 3 times. And he knows it's being filmed.
I think he's nervous. He's got his little, what is the pilot?
If you're riding a bike and you come to a stop, you have to put your legs down. If you don't understand these things, I hate to see what he does to toilet seats at night in the White House. You must lift the lid, sir. Roy did an excellent job. I got a couple jokes he said. I would tell his jokes, but that's kind of foul to tell his jokes.
Oh, you can tell one.
He did make some good points about Dominion voting machines, which was like a running bit he kept doing was, because we know, they got sued for so much money. Fox News got sued for $787 million. So he said the Fox claimed Dominion conspired with the Democrats to rig the election. The Democrats should be flattered that they thought that y'all was smart enough to rig an election. Because then he went on, he said Warnock almost lost to a werewolf. He had to have a runoff. So the Democrats are not killing it. Yeah, if killing it means Bernie squeaking by with a totally disheveled, dysfunctional Republican Party, I guess you call it a win. So if I have anybody watching who has any ideas that I'm a Trump supporter or a Democrat or a Republican, that means you don't know nothing about me because I'm neither. I'm just Tim Black. I'm like 50% of America, agnostic when it comes to political parties. I want what's best for us all. And that's neither one of these parties, if I'm being totally honest. You like Roy Wood Jr., Mrs. Black?
I do. I was pretty impressed with, I just saw a snippet. Actually, just your video of what he done. I didn't see the actual, I didn't see the actual event. But yeah, I was usually when I do see the Daily Show, and that's rare, it may be a snippet here and there, I don't find it that funny. But so I was surprised to see that he actually put down some really good jokes. And yeah, I was impressed. I was actually laughing at his piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way better than Seth Meyers.
Yeah.
Way better. Whose Jewish family do I have to be born into to get a show? Seth Meyers. Come on, man. A closer look. No, let's not look at all. How about we don't look? How about we gouge our eyes out so we ain't got to see this bullshit?
Oh, gosh. Look at the last joke. You have to say the last joke. I had to stop and think about that for a few seconds. When the retirement.
At the end of the day?
When the retirement.
When the retirement age went up 2 years to 64 in France, they rioted because they didn't want to work till 64. Meanwhile, in America, we have an 80-year-old man begging us for 4 more years of work. Come on, man. Come on. Come on, silly boo. She's in my comment section like, Roy Wood was on fire. He was. That's what I'm saying, man. Don't play favorites. Go after whatever's there. Make the joke. That's what comedians are supposed to do. Yeah. A lot of people that you see are not really comedians. They are opportunists. They are careerists. Trying to keep the lights on, and I get that. But if you have been doing this so long that you got so much money stocked away, you still can't have a backbone. So this is how it works. Before you get a break, you're like, let me shut the fuck up because I want to get a break. Then you get a break and it's like, I can't say that because I don't want to lose my break. Then when you're on top, you're like, hey, I'm riding high. It would be stupid to risk it all. And that's why we have a perpetual, never-ending line of garbage. That's why no one takes risks. The only people that take risks are people who aren't in the arena because they have nothing to lose. Then they go on their jobs of killing puppies and look the other way every day. I'm saying it's everyone. Everyone is a problem. It is what it is. The only people dumb enough, reckless enough, courageous enough to say the truth or to be brutally honest from their point of view are the people that aren't making any money. Like me. All right, let's go. Let's keep it moving. What's next, Mrs. Black?
Okay, I think we're going to go on to the Texas shooter at large.
Okay.
We wanted to also give a tribute to Harry Belafonte.
Yeah, okay, so let's do Harry Belafonte first.
Okay.
Let's do Harry Belafonte. And this is everybody pull in here a little bit. We gotta huddle up for a second. This is the thing. I was on TikTok. Now, TikTok has a reputation of being one of the most progressive platforms. You go on TikTok and you can learn a lot. And there are a lot of great people on TikTok. A lot of great content creators who are talking about things you'll never hear on YouTube or Instagram. So give it up for that, definitely. But you run across some stinkers. There's some people there who did not wear deodorant and are allergic to wiping one's ass.
Oh.
There was this lady that was running down Harry Belafonte. She was saying things about Harry Belafonte on his death. She said that Harry Belafonte and a lot of other black men of their day who were famous, such as Sidney Poitier, did not want to marry black women. That Harry Belafonte refused to marry Eartha Kitt. And he said something to the effect of, I'll never get anywhere in this business if I marry a black woman. So I got to marry a white woman. Something like that. So I heard this, right, and it really got me thinking. It got me thinking, first of all, you know, in life there's always a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot more going on than we want to give ourselves credit for. And if you look at any one place, any time, you can find some of the most disgusting, horrendous, spiteful, hurtful, animalistic, cannibalistic, infuriating, selfish, brutal, inhumane things going on. And we got to acknowledge that. But you know what else? You can also look anywhere in America or in the world and see some of the most kind, thoughtful, loving, caring, gracious, enduring, self-sacrificing, unselfish, beautiful things happening as well. In this business of reporting, this business of commentary, the human nature aspect of it, what's profitable is to focus on the latter or the former. We always focus on the former. We focus on the train wreck. People are more willing to avoid pain than they are to pursue happiness or joy. So, based on the profit centers, based on the business model, you're always going to hear more the negative than the positive. When this lady was running down Halle Belafonte, there's something she left out. She left out that America was very segregated at the time, and maybe that was why Harry Belafonte felt it was necessary for him not to marry a black woman. I'm not saying I agree with him, but I'm saying as a person who's married to a black woman, who's only been married the one time, maybe there were other considerations for someone who had dreams of being in Hollywood. Maybe instead of just dumping on Harry Belafonte, we could also put it in the context of a very racist America. Harry Belafonte becoming Harry Belafonte was a very improbable thing, sister. We're talking about a 1 in 500,000 shot.
Very true.
If he would have, maybe he knew something you don't know. Miss born in the 90s or born in the early 2000s. I don't know when you were born. He didn't want to turn his 1 in 500,000 shot into a 1 in 30 million shot. Maybe that's the cost of being too black. Maybe you have to, maybe in that time, the requirement to assimilate totally was so prevalent. Maybe that's something to do with it. But here's what I want you to also know. Even if you reject everything I just said, you say, so what? Screw him. That one man did not marry black. This is what you should also include. He had more story, more to him than that. His financial support provided considerable financial assistance to organizations like the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC, and also helped to fund freedom rides and voter registration drives. He took his money and he took his time to contribute fundraising. He used his fame and connections to organize concerts and events to support the civil rights movement. He collaborated with artists like Sidney Poitier, Marlon Brando, Sammy Davis Jr. to raise awareness and funds. Without those funds, the civil rights movement may never have happened. No movement happens broke. His relationship with MLK and formed a close relationship with Belafonte, providing both financial and moral support to King and his family. He even helped to finance King's trips to accept the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. His activism and advocacy, he was an outspoken advocate for civil rights, racial equality. He participated in protests and marches, including the historic 63 March on Washington, and he used his platform to raise awareness about issues faced by African Americans. This was at a time when black people were openly being lynched and killed, more openly than they are today. International solidarity, Belafonte was involved in promoting civil rights and social justice worldwide, not just in America. He played an active role in the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa and supported various humanitarian causes throughout his life. Yes, I understand we can focus on the negative aspects, something that we may disagree with, the controversial aspects of Harry Belafonte. But I want you to know, we could do that with anybody. We could even do that with you. One of the beauties of living right now in 2023 is anybody. Anybody can do content. Anybody can provide commentary. Anybody can grab a mic, grab a webcam, and speak their mind. But not everyone should. And if you do have a responsibility. If you're going to tell it, tell the whole thing or say nothing. This has been Tim Black, and I just set the table. Give it up for that.
Excellent.
Thank you, sister. Thank you, sister.
I didn't know those things about him.
Yeah, I looked him up because I'm like, wow, we could always focus on something we don't like about a person. And I get it. Yeah, call people out for what they do. Yes, yes, yes. But if you're going to go after somebody on the day of their death and leave out like, hey, Belafonte, I'm not going to say he totally bankrolled civil rights movement on his own. But damn it, he took a lot. He shouldered a lot of the burden by himself. Him and Sidney Poitier, that's what they did. I'm not saying they were perfect. I'm not saying they never did anything they shouldn't have done. No one's faultless except Jesus. So, okay, it is what it is. But let's not leave out all the good. Let's not leave out all the good. The good stuff. Let's also, you could also say, if he did this, he did that, he did this. But this part I didn't like. Okay. But see, then no one wants to watch because they wanted you to bash him. And that's what you did. Not marrying someone. And let's be real for a second. All my black people watching, two things. First thing is, it's not the same thing with Tucker Carlson, because I'm sure it's somebody watching that wants to say, let's overlook everything Tucker Carlson's done. Tucker Carlson has performed white supremacy. He has enabled white supremacists and gave them a platform and fueled them. Mm-hmm. That's not the same as marrying somebody white. Okay? I say marry who the hell you want to marry. Him not marrying Eartha Kitt may have been a reason. He must not have been totally in love. Because total being in love with someone kind of push you to do things you shouldn't do, like get married at 20. But let's stop acting like you guys care so much about who people marry. There are people right now being held up as black leaders on the internet who don't even have black wives, who don't have black kids, who don't live black lives. Used to be ex-pimps, ex-hookup artists, and you guys are running around shitting on other people who have done actual work in order for you to hoist them on your shoulders and proclaim them as your champions. So miss me with the whole, I'm outraged about Harry Belafonte. I'm outraged about Joe Louis. Yeah, I get it. No one's perfect, but neither are these people that you choose. Neither are they. Some of them in crazy-ass, weird relationships doing weird shit, who haven't really done anything except take other people's work, repackage it, and put their name on it. And what do they do? And what do you give them for that? All your money and all your time and all your solidarity and loyalty. And you tell other people to go fuck off. So, stop being hypocrites. Stop the hypocrisy. This is the blackest show on the internet. We'll see how we do. It's on us to put on a good show, but it's on you to respect it. All right. Next.
All right, I guess we can go on to, that was very good.
Something fun, huh?
Very good. Fun? Well, the last thing on the list is fun, but did you want to do
No, we'll keep that last.
Keep that last, okay.
This is heavy. We're getting heavy.
We have the Texas shooter at large. Crazy story. Unbelievable.
It is. Look, guys. Texas is the biggest state in America, if I'm not mistaken. Also has probably some of the most lax gun laws. So I'm not gonna talk about the guns he had. You can get guns anywhere. This guy, according to what I read, this guy was shooting a semi-automatic, some type of gun in his yard. The next door neighbor's like, yo, could you keep it down? Our kids are trying to sleep. And they got into an argument. And he said, this is my house and this is my yard. I'll shoot whatever I want when I want. And he proceeded to shoot them, including one of their 8-year-old child. So this guy is on the run. There's no mistake he did it. It's on the Ring camera. Yeah, he knocked on the door.
What is his name? It's what, Francisco
Oropeza? Something. Yeah,
Francisco Oropeza.
Oropeza. He killed 5 victims after a neighbor asked him to stop shooting rounds in his yard. Authorities are offering an $80,000 reward for information leading to his capture. He's still at large. Hope he don't come get us for me doing this segment. Look, guys, what I can't stand are the people that are right now in my comment section going, it ain't guns, it's the person. Anybody could do anything. He could have did that with a knife. Well, he didn't have a knife, did he? Couldn't find one of those, but he found that damn gun. I agree, we got a lot of issues in America. I just don't know what to say to this. This is like, find this mofo, bring his ass to justice, if that's what you want to call what we have, because I'm not sure that's what we have. We don't have a justice system. We have an injustice system. We don't have a healthcare system. We have a what Marianne Williamson say? We don't have a healthcare system. We have a self-care system, or we have a sick care. Yeah, we have a sick care system. Some people like her. Shut up. I'm just saying. Man, I'm just saying. The same thing applies. You can use that in everything. You know, we don't have an education system. We have a miseducation system. Tim, you are good, boy. You are going places, Tim Black. Look how you put on that thing. You put on that thing. Turned it around on itself. I'm throwing papers. I'm forgetting stuff. I know.
You want to give an update on Jamie?
I do want to give an update on Jamie Foxx. Oh, this is what I want to say about Jamie Foxx. All those people out there that are, who don't have any direct information about Jamie Foxx, but you are putting out content talking about Jamie Foxx and what possibly could have happened, these stories about him speaking up on certain things regarding certain other stars, notable celebrities, and that being part of the reason why he is fighting for his life. Go to hell. Take your ass directly to hell, Johnson. Jamie Foxx had to be resuscitated. Jamie Foxx is lucky to be alive. We don't know. I don't know. You don't know what exactly caused it. We do know he had hypertension. Someone said, look, put out this. We want to protect his career. So if you say he's got all these illnesses, a year later, people are going to be still skeptical about working with him. Jamie Foxx is worth a lot of money, and a lot of people eat off Jamie Foxx. So it's very guarded about the information that they put out. But I just want to say, get well, Jamie Foxx. I have known people that have known Jamie Foxx. They have nothing but great things to say. What burns me up is just the people who don't know shit about what happened to him, just coming up with all types of scenarios. And they do this with everybody, but it just hits a certain kind of way with Jamie Foxx. I mean, like Jamie Foxx is our guy. He's so talented. He's so us. I grew up with him, and it's got a problem hearing that, Mrs. Black, you got any feelings about it? They say the brother, they're coming up with theories about him. Yeah. Like someone intentionally, like someone tried to off him. And I'm like, you have no evidence of that. Y'all just saw what happened with people making up scenarios to get sued for that shit. Why are y'all doing it? And it's just disrespectful to me to put that out there without any evidence. You have any evidence other than a doctored video from some guy who talk like this, who talk like this?
I think I know what you're talking about. But yeah, I think it's number one, it's wrong. You know, it's wrong to even report on someone's health, especially someone who is, who is in that condition, and just not knowing all of the facts and, getting hearsay and putting it out to the public. It's just wrong. If you don't know, and you know that he's in the hospital, we're just, our thoughts are with him and with his family. We hope that he recovers and he gets back on track with, being Jamie Foxx and doing what he does so well. So that's all I have to say about that. But, as my heart and our thoughts go out to his family.
Absolutely.
I know he has a daughter, Corinne is his daughter. They've done some commercials together, very cute. But yeah, just, our thoughts and our hearts are with them.
Tough.
It is.
Well said.
It
Well
is.
said, Mrs. Black. And look, I didn't mean to take a shot at the guy. I heard the guy who put out that content is someone who had a car accident, a horrific car accident. That's why he talks like that. So I shouldn't make fun of him. It just ticks me off, man. I know you got to make money somehow, but come on, guys, the way you make money. Which brings me to something else that's not on the paper. I recently saw an interview with DJ Vlad, and DJ Vlad was saying, he was talking to DJ Academics, and he was saying why he won't bring back Charleston White. I thought it was very interesting. After all of the negative things I've heard about DJ Vlad, he sounded like the most sensible motherfucker that I've heard talk about Charleston White. Most people tiptoe around just how horrible Charleston White is. A lot of people ignore how downright fucking disgusting this guy is, the shit he says out of his mouth, the way he not only, now I'm not caping for anybody, but I'm saying, dude, if you're going after people's kids, talking about having relations with people's kids, wishing death on people. I'm not talking about the rappers who have killed people that he talks about. I'm talking about that other shit. I've heard all these people cape for Charleston White because he's hot right now. And DJ Vlad's the only one that said, I won't have him back because I don't like what he said, not about Jews, but about Asians. He's the only one I heard say that. Everyone else, and I could name names, Godfrey, I love Godfrey, but Godfrey was kissing Charleston White's ass. This guy, Charleston White, threw the Nation of Islam, Minister Farrakhan, and the whole nation under the bus. And Godfrey went after Vlad for saying something critical about Minister Farrakhan. And I agree with Godfrey on that. But then he gives Charleston White a pass for saying his shit. It's because he's black. Look, just because someone's black don't mean they get to say any old shit out their mouth. Some of the stuff Charleston White says, as DJ Vlad pointed out, is just to get attention. He says the most horrific, harmful, disgusting, diabolical bullshit just to get attention. And y'all give it to him. It's for money. So well, it's my thing. People say they hate people that sell out, but then you feel sellouts. You hate people that ain't about shit, then you feel them. And I know Charleston White says, I'm just playing a character. Now, characters play in movies. That's what characters play. If you ain't on a movie set, you don't get to play Freddy Krueger, motherfucker, and then say, well, I'm just being Freddy Krueger. I'm not real, I'm a cartoon character. Well, people need to treat him like a cartoon character and stop listening to him. Stop, every time I turn around, there's somebody with a halfway decent platform going, but Charleston White got a point. Yeah, so does a broken clock. so does a spoon if you break it in half. Get the hell out of here. So yeah. Before we get to the last thing, which will be a pick-me-up. I did a segment about Chicago because I was responding to Bill Maher's comments about Chicago on his show. He had this big fat fuckhead conservative asshole on his show who loves throwing black people under the bus and does so all the time. If you're a conservative, you probably like him. I can't stand him. I don't like people who conveniently leave out the context of the position of the causes that put black people where we are and just always talk about what we ain't doing. Oh, what we ain't doing. Oh, God, what we ain't doing. It's like taking an abused person and saying, why don't you don't have more self-esteem? I know they put cigarettes out of your face for 400 years, but why aren't you feeling better about yourself? Why aren't you out at the ball dancing? Like, forgetting all the context of what that drove us to this point. Everything has a reason. Everything. So anyway, I covered this thing about Bill Maher, and this talks about Chicago. And in that video, to my bad, I went too detailed. I talked about everything that happened. I broke it down. I gave you 15 minutes of facts, but people don't want 15 minutes of facts. 15 minutes of facts. They want 3 minutes of in your face, in your ass. So here we go. Bill Maher, I understand that you're really concerned about Chicago. Chicago is not the only place where there's violence. Anywhere there is poverty and pain across the world, there will be violence. Here goes a reality check. Systemic oppression creates these problems. A lack of a tax base, the lack of money, will always lead people down a horrible road because those dystopian movies that we watch are real life for some people when you take away the money. So you lock people up, you over-police people, you lock them up, you take away their rights. They can't even get food stamps. And then you say, why are you stealing from a store? That's the dumbest shit in the world. I understand you live in a bubble. But if you really want it popped, you could lock your ass down in Chicago and find out what's going on. I'm not saying it's not some level of responsibility. But Jesus Christ, Johnson, they close the schools like you close IHOPs and Circuit Cities and Best Buys. They close more schools in Chicago than Toys R Us. That's what the fuck's going on in Chicago. We got bad teachers, a low tax base, and nobody wants to work in a place where they can't make money. So it's a lot. So we want it to be something very simple, but it's not. But what it definitely is not is choice. You don't ask dying people or people that are living in a war zone, why do you have a gun? Most of the kids that I've seen in Chicago have guns because other kids have guns. And the cycle continues. It's not an excuse, it's a reason. And since I don't think you asked this with the best intentions, go fuck yourself. The end.
Excellent.
Last but not least, Kevin Hart and Meek Mill just gave an additional $7 million to people in Philadelphia to help with schooling, to help with education, to help with after-school programs. They had already given $7 million. And they said, let's go back and do some more because it felt so good to give. See, that's the thing. That's it right there. See, we can focus on the $15 million that comedian Kevin Hart and rapper Meek Mill put out into the world of their hometown, but we won't. Instead, we'll go, why don't celebrities give back? Why don't they give back? They don't never do nothing. We don't never do nothing. We don't try to help ourselves. No, you don't ever read. You don't read, so you don't know. There are black people working tirelessly in these communities. There are black people putting their lives on the line every day, fighting against violence, fighting against bad education, fighting against police brutality, fighting against all the pains, poverty, fighting against drug addiction. There are people that give their lives, donate their lives to these causes. We don't talk about them because they don't sell clicks and views. And if no one talks about them, then no one knows that they're happening. But they are happening. So I want everybody to go give a big shout out, big up to Meek Mill and Kevin Hart for doing the thing that people act like we don't do all the goddamn time. I'm not saying they're walking on clouds. I'm not saying they're Jesus Christ themselves. I'm not saying they are saints. I'm saying they're doing good things. You could do good things too. Take what you have and do the best of what you have to reach the people you can right where you are. That's how you make a difference. You don't sit on your platform, Bill Maher, you dickhead, and say, what's wrong with Chicago? You get involved. Put your money where your mouth is. I'm sure you got a couple of shekels laying around that you could toss Chicago's away, and they gladly take it. That's really all I got. Anything else, Mrs. Black? I missed anything?
Well, no, just according to the story here, you got some more stuff here. Funds will support low-income students at 60 private and parochial schools in the Philadelphia area. The recipient schools, which were not named, were chosen was chosen as part of concentrated efforts to make an impact in areas of need. The donations will fund scholarships in the 2023-24 academic year and at-home technology, such as laptops, tablets, and Wi-Fi connections. All very important.
All very important. All very
yeah.
important. Give it up for that. This thing should be clapping. I think it's clapping.
So, yeah, kudos to Kevin Hart and Meek Mill. Excellent. Just excellent.
Excellent. Look, man, like I said, there's always good going on everywhere, all the time. All the time, Johnson. I used to do a segment called Good Stuff. No one wanted to watch it. They wanted to watch all the bad stuff.
Maybe we can bring that back.
It's how we're wired.
Yeah.
It's what, and at some point people go, and see, that's what happens. Who was it we were talking about that did this? Jerry Springer passed away. Jerry Springer was a politician. Now he got fired, or he got voted out, or he had to resign because he got caught buying sex. Something I don't even think should be illegal. You can sell everything in the world, but you can go on a date and give someone some sex, but you can't sell it. I think you should be able to sell sex if you want to. That's just me. I'm not saying everybody should go buy it, but anyway, he lost his city council position for that. Then he was mayor of Cincinnati. He recently passed away, and I joked about his show because his show was garbage. Even Jerry Springer will tell you his show was garbage. But here's the thing. It didn't start out that way. Jerry Springer's show started out like any other talk show. Researched, unscripted, thoughtful about important shit. And the ratings suck. It sucked. In order to keep his show, he had said, you need to spice it up. And he kept spicing it up, and people kept watching. And he spiced it up some more, and people kept watch some more. And to the point, he had more viewers than Oprah. So it's a common tale. We know how it ends, man. At the end of the day, you want to do good things with the money. All the money takes over. I think a lot of us, it happens to a lot of folks. So anyway, someone's like, Tim, why'd you do a tribute to Jerry Springer? Well, I made a joke about him, a joke about his show, but it wasn't about him dying. I'm a joke about people dying. And I just felt like, let me just say some kind words. Let me just say let me give a little bit more context about this man's life. Because anybody could be boiled down to the thing they did that was controversial. At the end of the day, Jerry Springer did not create bad trash TV. Well, maybe he did. Maybe he did, but he didn't perfect it. I think Maury perfected it. Dr. Phil perfected it. Ricky Lake perfected it. At that time, by the way, Oprah and Jerry Springer had about the same type of content. I know you don't recall, but I recall, because I'm old. But yeah, and now we got trash TV everywhere. It's a business model.
Yeah.
It's called reality TV. It's what it is now. It's and those people that you say went on there, he abused and humiliated them and did these things. Yeah, well, you know, people are still doing that on VH1 right now. People are still doing that on BT right now. You know?
Yep.
And there are people doing their own skits independently who are doing the same thing right now, who are not working for networks. So I'm just saying, just put that out there. Yeah. Let's not give Jerry all the credit for all the bad things that have taken place in the world.
It's the pioneer. It's a pioneer. One of the pioneers.
One of the pioneers. Yeah. Speaking of pioneering, there's a show, The Red Table Talk, with Jada Pinkett Smith has been canceled. The Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith has been canceled. It's no longer on Facebook Watch. That's because Facebook Watch went away. It's not because they wanted to treat black women badly. It's because it didn't make money, like it didn't make sense monetarily. The show will probably come back. Someone's going to pick it up. A VH1, a BET, maybe Tyler will pick it up. I don't know.
And then it's like all the firings at Meta, and I believe the head of that programming area for the Watch was actually laid off. So
good point.
All that program, along with, I believe Steve Harvey also had a program on Watch that watch
See?
programming. Yeah. So all of that's gone. It wasn't a retaliation of what happened with the slap or her in general. It was because that department is no longer, it no longer exists.
So yeah. So it's bigger than just they don't like her because whatever. It's other thing. But Nick Cannon was like, "Yo, I'm glad it got taken away, because without it, I don't think Will Smith would have smacked Chris Rock." I don't know. I know I like the black table better. Do you like the black table better than the red table?
I like the black table.
I like the black table better.
Yeah.
Shit, I come out here, if what they were doing was talking at the table, I'm basically knocking this motherfucker over. I come out here and knock the table over. I knock the table over. That's what we do on this black table. This black table. So that's really all I got, guys. So look, update. We have a voice message option. If people want to call up and leave us stories ideas, you can just hit the link that's in every video description. Every piece of content I put out on YouTube has a video description, and there's a link to leave a voice message. So there's lots of ways for you to get your story suggestions and story ideas to the show. You can email us, you can DM us, you can private message us, and now you can leave a voice message. And we're going to start a Facebook group. Oh yeah, I'm going all the way in.
More to come.
The black table's going all the way in. Yeah. I like this dynamic. I don't have to carry the show totally by myself. I got my better half with me.
Yeah.
This is Black.
I'm here.
And she's in the cut, but she's with me. And we'll see. We'll see what we can do. I think we need a mission statement. I wanna shake the world up with a different point of view. I don't want the same narratives out there. We're redoing the websites. We're redoing social media. We're taking a run there. So I'm going to thank everybody on Patreon, all my people on Facebook, all my people who tune in. What are we? TikTok, I'm Tim Black Show. Instagram, Tim Black at Night. I'm Real Tim Black everywhere else. And thank you for tuning in. Thanks for making this show possible. I appreciate y'all. Mrs. Black, any final words?
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great week. We hope we've started it off good for you with some good information, some good stories. Thank you. Next Sunday, same time, 7 p.m.-ish. Eastern Standard Time. Looking forward to seeing everyone again. Please tell your friends, share the content, share your stories. As Tim mentioned, send your emails. Let us know what's going on, and we'd be happy to do some research on it and report it that following Sunday. That's right. Thank you so much.
That's it, y'all. I'll see you next week, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. It's the Black Table, and we are out of here.
Peace.
Peace, y'all.
Controversial, must see, eye-opening, the Black Table.
See you at the show on the Black Table.